in her face event. You can't not click on that.
It's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these. Some of you, I think many of you know it.
No, Sandra, many of us do not know. Get to the baby force skin injecting part.
Through the skin and ruptures of collagen, and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes.
What are you pushing into the skin, Sarah? Sandra.
Say it, Sandra. Say it, Sarah. Say it. You got the name wrong. You got the name. Say it. Say what you're putting in your skin.
Sandra, Carrie. What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is.
What is it?
From a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
And if the gate was good, then you moved on.
International Ballroom of the Beverly Hilton Hotel. 2020 Golden Globe Award.
Honoring the best in movies and television, including special awards to Tom Hanks and Ellen DeGeneres. And now, your host for the evening, ladies and gentlemen, Ricky Gervais.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hello and welcome to the 77th Annual Golden Globe Awards, live from the Beverly Hilton Hotel here in Los Angeles. I'm Ricky Gervais, thank you. You'll be pleased to know this is the last time I'm hosting these awards, so I don't care anymore. I'm joking, I never did. NBC clearly don't care either, 5th time. So, I mean, Kevin Hart was fired from the Oscars because of some offensive tweets. Hello?
Apologize, or we're going to have to find
Lucky for me, the Hollywood Foreign Press can barely speak English, and they've no idea what Twitter is. So I got offered this gig by fax. So let's go out with a bang. Let's have a laugh at your expense, shall we? Remember, they're just jokes. We're all going to die soon, and there's no sequel. So, yeah. Remember that. But you all look lovely, all dolled up. You came here in your limos. I came here in a limo tonight, and the license plate was made by Felicity Huffman. So, no. Shush. It's her daughter I feel sorry for, okay? That must be the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to her. And her dad was in Wild Hogs. So, lots of big celebrities here tonight. I mean, legends, icons, yeah? Look, at this table alone, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. Baby Yoda. Oh, that's Joe Pesci, sorry. I love you, man. Don't have me whacked. But tonight isn't just about the people in front of the camera. In this room are some of the most important TV and film executives in the world. People from every background, but they all have one thing in common. They're all terrified of Ronan Farrow. He's coming for you. He's coming for you. Look, talking of all you perverts, it was a big year. It was a big year for paedophile movies. Surviving R. Kelly, Leaving Neverland, Two Popes. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care. I don't care. Many talented people of colour were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood Foreign Press are all very, very racist. So, 5th time. So, we were going to do an in memoriam this year, but when I saw the list of people that had died, it wasn't diverse enough. It just, no. It was mostly white people. And I thought, nah, not on my watch. So, maybe next year. Let's see what happens. No one cares about movies anymore. No one goes to the cinema. No one really watches network TV. Everyone's watching Netflix. This show should just be me coming out going, well done, Netflix, you win everything. Good night. But no, we've got to drag it out for 3 hours. You could binge watch the entire first season of Afterlife instead of watching this show. That's a show about a man who wants to kill himself because his wife dies of cancer. And it's still more fun than this, okay? Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
Been in Hollywood for 5 years or more, knows about Harvey Weinstein. Perverted predator Harvey Weinstein is being scapegoated to cover for the truth about Hollywood. Famous male and female pedophile actors and producers who like to rape kids. Meryl Streep was named by Ashcraft as preferring to have sex with 14-year-old girls at specially organized Hollywood pedophile parties. She said that's why Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks get on so well post Harvey Weinstein and the She News scandal, why Meryl Streep supported convicted pedophile and anal rapist of a 13-year-old drugged girl at Jack Nicholson's house, and why she called Weinstein God during an acceptance speech.
Now do fantasy adventure nonsense. They wear masks and capes and really tight costumes. Their job isn't acting anymore. It's going to the gym twice a day and taking steroids. Really? Have we got an award for most ripped junkie? No. No point. We know he'd win that. Martin Scorsese, the greatest living director, made the news for his controversial comments about the Marvel franchise. He said they're not real cinema and they remind him of theme parks. I agree. Although I don't know what he's doing hanging around theme parks. He's not big enough to go on the rides, is he? It's tiny. Right. The Irishman was amazing. It was amazing. It was. It was great. Long, but amazing. It wasn't the only epic movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, nearly 3 hours long. Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him. So... even Prince Andrew's like, come on, Leo, mate, you know. You're nearly 50, son. The world got to see James Corden as a fat pussy. He was also in the movie Cats, but no one saw that. And the reviews, oh, shocking. I saw one that said, this is the worst thing to happen to cats since dogs, right? But Dame Judi Dench defended the film, saying it was the role she was born to play, because she... I can't do this next joke. Because she loves nothing better than plonking herself down on the carpet, lifting her leg and licking her... Furball. She's old school. It's the last time, who cares? Oh. Apple roared into the TV game with a morning show. A superb drama, yeah. A superb drama about the importance of dignity and doing the right thing, made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and...
Before we begin, I just want to congratulate Harvey and his wife Georgina on the birth of their new baby boy. Harvey gave us just what we needed, another hymn.
I'd like to thank Harvey Weinstein, the Punisher, that's his nickname. The Punisher, yes.
Harvey, if I keep thanking you in public, people will think we're having an affair. But nonetheless, if you're choosing sides in the playground before a scrap, I would like to have Harvey Weinstein and Graham King on my side.
Harvey Weinstein, Bob Weinstein, God bless them.
My friends at Miramax for making this film, especially Harvey, and
Harvey, thank you for killing whoever you had to kill to get me up here today.
And to Harvey Weinstein, the tough guy on the playground with the biggest heart. Thank you for saying you'd do anything for your friends, and you always do. Thank you.
And then Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein. Harvey and Bob Weinstein. Everyone.
Thank you, Harvey Weinstein.
I want to thank Harvey and Bob Weinstein my agent, Kevin Uvain, and God, Harvey Weinstein. The Punisher, Old Testament, I guess.
Especially the bomber Weinstein, my godfather.
It's better than I do.
Sometimes I call him Jennifer. It's a pet name.
But, okay.
I would like to thank Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein, who believed in us and made this movie.
Harvey, thank you to Harvey.
Harvey Weinstein for his commitment.
And to Harvey Weinstein and everyone at Miramax.
These Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein and Lauren Spender and
Harvey and Bob Weinstein. You also break my heart with your uncensored passion.
But I have to thank Harvey Weinstein. And thank you, sir.
And of course, Harvey, who first took me on 20 years ago when I was a mere child sensation. I
want to thank the Mashbuka Weinstein. Mazel tov.
There's a guy I'd like to really thank here that people don't thank enough, but there's a kindly, wonderful, gentle man that we all deeply love. His name is Harvey Weinstein. A little rough around the edges, but a heart of gold. And we do love you. And this is a good man. People don't know that, but he's done a lot of good things in life. They'll write an article about that someday, too. New Yorker.
It's already 3 hours long. Right, let's do the first award. The first award. The first award is for Best Actor in a Television Series, Musical or Comedy. To present the award are a couple of actors off the telly. What can I say? Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon.
Well, yes, I would like to thank my God. Allahu Akbar. Thank you, God. This is thanks to God and Hulu. You guys, look, I know you guys haven't seen my show. Everyone's like, is this an editor?
What else? Right, here's one that I thought wasn't quite right because he was being honoured. I sort of like Tom Hanks being awarded the Cecil B. DeMille Award for basically being the nicest man in Hollywood. No one has a bad word to say about him, and I can see why. He's such a considerate bloke. He even folds his own sheet after clan meetings, even when he's off his head on cocaine and meth. Now, I don't think that would have gone down very well.
Growing up in a fractured home.
When I was 10 years old, both my parents had already been married 3 times, and I'd lived in 10 different houses. And I thought of it as kind of like a cool adventure. I was confused a lot by why it happened. We just were moving. We just had new people in our lives. We didn't know why. They were good people. In some ways, it's like I'm going back and looking at those times for me and my siblings and trying to put context on the confusion.
May I bring my typewriter, sir? Besides his own life, Hanks also drew inspiration from
I always thought, how did these guys set up the electric trains around the Christmas tree in 1954? How did they do that? This is the typewriter that got man to the moon.
Houston, we have a problem.
Calling Twitch so we can talk about Game of Games tonight.
Hey.
Hey, my friend.
How are you?
I miss you.
I miss you.
So, look, now people are going to start texting me now that I'm, So, what are you doing? You hunkering down and dancing?
Yes, hunkering down and dancing. Allison and I just finished TikToking.
Hey, Allison.
How are you guys?
Good. Well, hanging in there. You?
Yeah.
You know, we're so bored.
I know, but you
Talking all day.
have babies to entertain you. You have children. That's a good thing.
See, that's what you would think. It's funny you say it to entertain us.
No.
No.
They expect you to entertain them?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times they said to us that we're bored.
Marina, that you, as myself, a self-proclaimed pop performance artist, want to go home and slit my wrists, and I, you know, I am nothing. I have achieved no sense of art. She is so boundless, and she did a piece, I think it was in Germany, and she laid on a table and she put out all of these things, a gun, condoms, sleeping pills, booze, ropes, all sorts of things on this table. And there was a sign basically that just said that the museum goers could do as they pleased to her. And they were not responsible for anything that happened, that she would take full responsibility for anything that happened. Somebody tried to shoot her in the head, and another patron came by and stopped them. Somebody came by and stopped them, and they gave her sleeping pills, and they ripped her shirt open, and they cut her hair, and she was limitless. And she created her own sense of limitless being. And I think we are the ones who create our limits. And I hope to God that when she hears that answer, she thinks I answered properly, because Marina, I think you are so wonderful, so beautiful and inspiring. And as a woman, I am in your...
You're a big fan.
I'm a big fan, and I, as a woman, want to translate what her work means into my own life on a domestic level.
Marina Abramovich, the 68-year-old New York-based performance artist, says she allowed the 45-year-old rapper and producer to adapt her The Artist is Present exhibition for his Picasso Baby performance art film under the condition that he support the Marina Abramovich Institute and that he did not fulfill his end of the bargain. He has not commented. The day before, he came to my office and I gave him an entire PowerPoint presentation and said, "Okay, you can help me, because I really need help to build this thing," she told the art magazine Spike in an interview published this week. Then he just completely used me, and that wasn't fair. This is very different from Lady Gaga, for example, who has done great work for me. Just by having 45 million followers, she brought all these young kids into my public.
Justin Bieber and Lady Gaga and the new people.
Well, different strokes for different folks. I make music.
Prince. The fact that he's putting so many children or babies into this whole song or music video when it's about his wife or his love life, or you know what I'm talking about. It's on his Instagram with the hashtag. Why is he putting children playing these musical instruments, and especially that plate at the end, lace underneath the cake with yummy? And I know this is going to sound so entirely controversial and bizarre, but I feel like this whole entire music video is alluding to the Pizzagate and pedophilia. Now for some context, Pizzagate is a conspiracy theory that went viral in 2016. Now John Podesta was Hillary Clinton's campaign manager. His emails were hacked and published on WikiLeaks, and these emails sounded so bizarre that people actually speculated they were code words for something. For example, "I'm dreaming about your hot dog stand in Hawaii. Do you think I'll do better playing dominoes on cheese than on pasta?" I mean, these messages just sound so weird. Like, who emails people about this stuff? It was actually theorized that these emails had codes. For example, cheese meant little girl and pasta meant little boy. It was eventually speculated that these emails were connecting restaurants to a much bigger child trafficking ring run by the Democratic Party. Comet Ping Pong was owned by James Alefantis, and this guy has posted some really weird stuff on his Instagram. Like, he's posted this child eating money, this child taped on a table, and even selling a child. As for John Podesta, he was known to have some really weird artworks on naked teenagers and cannibalism hanging around his house. Even though this theory has been widely debunked, many still speculate it to be true, and it's a very controversial topic to talk about. Now let's get back to the music video. Now first let's look at the intro. The way that Justin Bieber walks into this restaurant, he's hiding it. Like, he's walking through the back kitchen instead of the door. I mean, his posture is down and he's covering his head with his hood.
I swear to Lucifer.
You have a kitchen on the bus, you cook?
She brought all these young kids into my public.
She's the most scary thing.
Here's another one I thought I shouldn't do because she was being honoured. Ellen getting the award. Even though she's the nicest woman in America, she even felt the wrath of the social justice warriors when she was spotting cozying up to George W. One headline said, "Ellen loves Bush." We know. Well, you can see why I didn't do those jokes. Well, I'd have done them better than that. I'd have worked on them, but you know.
You might not be right in what the opinion that you bring to it. You've got to come at it with some
Hi,
reaction.
everyone.
And as Charlize might know, and some of the other people who've worked with us through the Playtone Galaxy of Stars, showing up on time. Wonderful. Cut. Check the gate. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the cold that is making this happen. I swear to God, I'm not nearly this emotional at home. Well, thank you. Tell the truth, I have checked the gate. The gate is good. Thank you.
Oh, Trump! That's right. We got these people
dancing like puppets while a marionette makes them dance the best to the beat of the drum. And then Mariette says, let's have some fun. Let's make Nancy do a little dance. Let's show Nancy in her natural state, which is apparently wasted. That's right, it's brackets and jackets for Missy Nancy Pelosi. She did a bunch of dirt in California, and now she's getting the puppet treatment, dancing to a different drummer. Who is the drummer? Who's the one? The marionette who's making a Nancy dance. She's getting white girl wasted, and this pudding is immortal. The family Lamborghini squad in the portal of truth. All right. Guys. Oh, guys. It looks like Epstein Island is proving to be a big-time bomb.
Everyone was very, very pally with him, you know. He was a very well-liked guy. Like, you could see that, you know, the sort of the chemistry between him and all these other powerful people. Like, it was like there was a close bonds. You could see that.
You dated Prince Andrew briefly. Tell us about that.
It was not really. I mean, we had a couple of dinners together.
When you watched the Prince Andrew interview, what did you make of it?
I mean, I watched it and I thought, well, first of all, there is no way, if he is guilty, that he would go onto television and do an interview like that. There's no way.
We'll come on to that, but today you've chosen to speak out for the first time. Why have you decided to talk now?
Because there is no good time to talk about Mr. Epstein and all things associated. We've been talking to Newsnight for about 6 months about doing something around the work that I was doing. And unfortunately, we've just not been able to fit it into either your schedule or my schedule until now. And actually, it's a very good opportunity, and I'm delighted to be able to see you today.
As you say, all of this goes back to your friendship with Jeffrey Epstein. How did you first become friends? How did you meet?
Well, I met through his girlfriend back in 1999, and I'd known her since she was at university in the UK.
A royal scandal.
We turn next to a controversy shaking Britain's royal family.
More controversy about his links with a convicted paedophile.
A woman has alleged in papers filed in Florida that she was forced to have sex with Andrew when she was 17.
Any suggestion of impropriety with underage minors is categorically untrue.
He knows exactly what he's done, and I hope he comes clean about it.
I think it's hard to look at that picture and say that you had no idea that she was young.
That's extraordinary that somebody who is a Prince of England would go and meet with somebody who has these convictions.
Is brand Britain going to be affected by this as well as his own brand?
My focus is on my work.
There is a feeling among the UK public that it's been too little too late.
He did say he likes to be loyal to his friends.
After Epstein had been convicted of paedophilia, of soliciting a 14-year-old girl for sex, after that had happened, Prince Andrew then goes to his home in New York for 4 days, is seen partying, lots of girls coming and going. He's seen walking around Central Park, and his explanation is it was convenient, as if there aren't enough five-star hotels in New York where you could stay. Princess Diana always stayed at the Carlisle, for example. I mean,
and you moved out to one of the properties because you felt uncomfortable.
I know. I don't know. I think that was obviously like a huge mistake on his part, but to be honest, like when it came out in the press like 10 years ago, I don't even really remember it coming out in the press. It was a very small story. It was not on the front cover of newspapers. It was in like page 6. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a huge deal. It's only like this time around, obviously, it's like turned into like this massive story. But
the big question, Lady Victoria, now is where is Ghislaine Maxwell? You knew her well. When did you last have any contact with her?
I haven't seen her since September last year. I don't think no one's gonna find her.
Where do you think she's gone?
She's gone far away. I don't.
Do you know that?
I mean, it's obvious. You know, Ghislaine's a bit like a James Bond character. Like she, you know, she's quite a unique person. And I just don't believe that anyone is going to find her.
I mean, she might be, in that sense, unique, but she's also somebody who is accused of very serious crimes, of aiding and abetting and procuring young girls, underage girls, to be sexually abused, and in fact is accused herself of taking part in some of the abuse. So this is not a light matter. This is a woman potentially who has all the answers to all the unanswered questions.
Right. But I mean, I've known her for a long time, and when I read all those things about her, like I'm kind of still in disbelief. Like I cannot believe actually that is the person that I've known for 20 years. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Like
I mean, I met her briefly at a book launch in New York in I think it was 2013 or something. And she's very charming. You know, I didn't know all this backstory then. I had a chat with her about her father, Robert Maxwell, used to be the owner of the Daily Mirror, which, of course, I'd been the editor of for many years. So we had that little connection we talked about.
Right.
She worked the room. She was clearly a socialite in Manhattan, leading that kind of life. But now, what we know about her now is so serious. And, of course, Prince Andrew's entire future, frankly, may rest on her. If she does come to justice and does start talking. But you think we'll never see her again?
I don't think we're ever going to see her again. I think it's going to be a bit like Robert Maxwell continued. I think she will continue that family mystery.
When you last spoke to her, did you talk about Epstein at all?
No, we didn't discuss that. We were at a friend's baby shower. So she's never really kind of got into it, to be honest. And I've never really asked her in detail about it.
And finally, Victoria, when you discovered, mainly actually just before he died and then afterwards, when all these women came out, all telling a similar story of underage abuse and targeting and trafficking and so on, what did you feel about what had emerged?
Yeah, I mean, I was completely shocked, you know. I was so shocked because I had no idea. I really had no idea. And, you know, the more I was reading about it, the more I was like, wow, I was actually in one of these apartments, and that I saw all of it, but I saw it, but I didn't see it, you know.
What do you mean you saw it, but you didn't see it?
Well, I was there, like, I was at the dinners, and, like, you know, I saw things, but I didn't see the truth. Like, I had no idea what was really going on. But I think, to be honest, the word sex trafficking, that's a very strong word, and I don't think that is a correct word to use for this. You know, when you think of sex trafficking, you think of a 12-year-old that's been kidnapped, that's chained, you know, in a cage. This is not the same thing. These girls are living the high life.
You might not think of it like that,
yeah,
but unfortunately,
let's be honest,
that's how it is.
Epstein was convicted of procuring a 14-year-old girl for sex. That's trafficking.
That's yeah.
This is when they're underage. It is trafficking. It's not some light thing. They are being trafficked. These girls, and literally, it was being described as being like a railway station, in and out all the time. And there are many of them underage. That was his thing. And that makes him a very dangerous serial paedophile who was trafficking them. And Ghislaine Maxwell, your friend of 20 years, is the woman accused of actually procuring a lot of these underage girls for him to sate his criminal lust on.
Yeah, no, it's extraordinary that this is the case. It's a wild story.
Lady Victoria Harvey, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much indeed.
Indefensible for anyone connected to it. And now Ghislaine Maxwell into the fray. Who's behind the camera? Who is the lawyer who took pictures with Bill and a bunch of greasy dudes? Booze they swill. What else were they getting up to on that island? That's right, we're dropping red pills every day. Dropping red pills in the best kind of way. This is brackets and jackets for the denizens of islands. Richard Branson, where you at? That's right. Mueller, what were you doing? Acosta, what were you doing? Make your way to the tailor. We would like to see if you would try this bracket on. This bracket looks good on you. Deborah says, I'm new to Q, and I think I like it here. You will, because we have fun, we're filled with love and light, and no one can stop us, and we're on the winning side. See, throughout most of recorded history, you could either be with the winners, who were liars and worse, or you could tell the truth and be demonized. Not to say people aren't still demonized, but the tide is turning. The tide is turning, the truth is coming out, and by the end I'll have my... That was a fill in the blank. This is about, we're going to talk about secret brackets. Secret brackets. We got a secret bracket list, which, by the way, the door is opening. The flood is coming. We're talking unregistered foreign agents. Unregistered foreign agents. That's right. Because a lot of people, media personalities, they are ingratiating themselves into situations, getting paid by foreign nations. And worse, sometimes, the cult. That's right, the cult. See, we all know what the cult does. But the flood is coming to wash you people out. I'm talking secret domestic traitors. And the cultists are many. They have money, power, influence, and they're not nice people. These are not nice people, folks. We're talking the worst kind of people who lie, ingratiate themselves to people on the right, then take them out. That's right, they take them out. Right-wing watch. Right-wing watch. Some interesting connections there. Okay. Can we get Mr. Alan B. Kruger, please report to the stage? We're gonna posthumously give you a bracket. We're out of jackets for now, but apparently you had a secret bracket Alan B. Kruger. That looks bad. We're gonna have to start a list. That's right, we're starting a list of all the people that had brackets. They went far away on a junket to Suicide Weekend Island. And I'm not talking about the one in Guantanamo, although maybe they went there too. We're talking about permanent vacation. It's the way to get out before the truth hits you and your family, like John McCain. Like John McCain.
So, I just heard, and actually, I was actually looking for him.
But instead of a professional meet and greet, Cruz claims Bennett leered at him from across the room.
And he looked me in my eyes, and he was sticking his tongue out overtly sexually to me. I mean, it was no mistake that this was a sexual type tongue move. And I'm going, and I'm thinking it's a joke. I'm thinking, is this how this guy breaks the ice? I don't understand what this is.
Confused, Cruz said he reached out to shake his hand.
I reached my hand out, and he takes his right hand and under mine and immediately grabs my genitals and I'm jumping back like, hey, whoa. And he jumps back and he still does this tongue stuff and he's making weird noises and then he comes back again and grabs me again. And I slap his hand away, push him back more forcefully, and I'm like, what are you doing?
According to Cruz, the alleged groping happened in front of his wife, Rebecca King Cruz. She confirmed her husband's account to ABC News.
So she's witnessing the entire thing.
She's witnessing the whole thing. And we're just, I can't even begin to describe to you how bizarre this is. It's so bizarre. I wake up every morning like, is this a bad dream? Does this really happen?
Because a lot of people will look and they'll go, here he is, former NFL linebacker, 6'3", 240 pounds, just muscles everywhere. How could he be assaulted?
That plays into the total stereotype of black men that we have to be violent.
Cruz says his wife's calming influence prevented the from escalating.
Nothing but rage, Mike. But my wife prepared me. She said, Terry, you cannot handle these kind of things with violence. You can't hit back because if you hit people and if you do this stuff, you're going to be under the jail.
Adam! Also at the party, Cruz says, was Adam Sandler, one of Bennett's clients and Cruz co-star in the movie Blended.
I would like to welcome you.
Return our request for comment about the alleged incident last year. Cruz said he abruptly left the party.
You're in the car. What's that conversation like in the car?
I couldn't talk. You just keep replaying. This happened? What in the world? And then you want to go back. You want to stop the car and turn around. You want to get this guy. And you know what? And the thing that calmed me down more than anything, my wife kept holding my hand. She kept grabbing my arm and said, I'm proud of you. Mike, I'm telling you, man, I know how close I came to losing it all. Just when you get emasculated like that. When I tell you, the way he looked at me, the way he giggled, it was one of those things where he was like, hey, man, no one's ever going to believe you.
Do you think it was a way of him maybe exercising power?
It was. First of all, this whole thing, from Weinstein to all what's happening in Hollywood, is about an abuse of power, an abuse of the position you have. And what happens is they have fooled everyone into thinking it was part of the job.
While he didn't go public with the alleged incident, Cruz insists he sounded the alarm immediately.
I told my agent at the agency, I told my manager, Adam knew.
Cruz says Adam Sandler called him right after the party.
Adam called me on the way home from the event to apologize.
Same night.
That same night, because it was that traumatic. You understand? When I left, he was like, oh, man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I understand something really, really bad went down. And I'm going, this is crazy.
The next day, he gets another call.
I get a call from my agent saying that Bennett's going to call you. I get a call. Here, it's him on the line. I'm sorry. I was drunk. I wasn't myself that night. And I said, hey, man, you got to understand the depth of what you did in front of my wife. I said, man, you don't even know how close you got to really being hurt. And I said, you need some help. I said, you need to go get help. And he was like, yeah, okay.
Was it sincere? Did you feel like it was sincere?
No, no. It's like when people are sorry because they got caught.
At the time, Cruz himself was represented by the same agency, William Morris Endeavor. For over a year, he remained publicly silent. But shortly after the Harvey Weinstein scandal broke, he tweeted, "This whole thing with Harvey Weinstein is giving me PTSD. Why? Because this kind of thing happened to me." Adding, a high-level Hollywood executive came over to me and groped my privates.
When I tweeted, I didn't mention the name. I didn't mention anybody. But what happened was I started getting calls from the agency. Hey, what's going on? Is everything okay? I said, no, it's not okay. I've been waiting a year, and I haven't heard anything. What happened with him? Where is his accountability? And I'm sitting here, and it's a year later. What have you done? I paid William Morris Endeavor 10% of everything I made for the last 15 years. I did not deserve to get molested.
Since going public, Cruz filed a police report. TMZ captured him leaving an LAPD office last week.
Why did you decide to file the police report today?
Oh, because, people have to be held accountable.
No, I understand that. Are you planning to file a lawsuit as well?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep. We're going to go all the way.
Law enforcement sources confirmed to ABC station KABC that Bennett was named as Cruz's alleged harasser on the report.
I have been victimized, but I have made the choice to not be a victim.
Terry Crews said he ended his relationship with the agency last week. William Morris Endeavor tells ABC News that Bennett has been suspended following the internal investigation into the matter. Bennett himself declined to comment.
Do you think this has hurt your career coming out?
I don't know. But this is what I have to say. I've learned a long time ago to always do the right thing, and the universe takes care of me. That's the deal. You might have $400 million in cash, but I'd rather have $400 million in influence. Honor is where you have to do it. You have to have honor. If I can't do it with honor, what's the point? Because this is the deal. Weinstein's money ain't helping him now. Kevin Spacey's money's not helping him right now. That's the deal. It's all disappearing. If you have honor, that's something no one can take away from you.
Cruz hopes that going public will force Hollywood to change.
It's like cutting a tree down by the leaves. Because once that leaf is gone, the root is still there. We have got to battle at the root. Hollywood doesn't even get the morals to its own movies. That's what's so crazy.
This Hollywood strongman, stronger than ever.
I mean, man, it's the Emancipation Proclamation. Everyone's free now. Everyone's free. It's like a huge sigh of relief. You cannot violate any boundaries anymore. Look, life has no limits, but it should have plenty boundaries.
For Nightline,
we turn next to a controversy shaking Britain's royal family.
More controversy about his links with a convicted paedophile.
A woman has alleged in papers filed in Florida that she was forced to have sex with Andrew when she was 17.
Any suggestion of impropriety with underage minors is categorically untrue.
He knows exactly what he's done, and I hope he comes clean about it.
I think it's hard to look at that picture and say that you had no idea that she was young.
That's extraordinary that somebody who is a Prince of England would go and meet with somebody who has these convictions.
Is brand Britain going to be affected by this as well as
He
his own brand?
has quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming, yes.
Unbecoming? He was a sex offender?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm being polite, in the sense that he was a sex offender.
An unprecedented moment in the royal family. The Queen's second son, Prince Andrew, explaining his connection to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein in a pre-taped one-on-one with BBC Newsnight.
You were staying at the house of
Yes.
a convicted sex offender?
It was a convenient place to stay. I admit fully that my judgment was probably coloured by my tendency to be too honourable, but that's just the way it is.
The Duke of York is himself accused of having sex with a 17-year-old in 2001 who claims she was trafficked by Epstein, something Andrew categorically denies.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
You don't remember meeting her?
No.
Buckingham Palace confirmed last week the Queen was aware of the interview in her home. However, royal sources tell The Telegraph she was only notified of the interview.
As Jimmy Savile became one of Britain's most popular entertainers, host of the smash hit program Top of the Pops, as he forged a reputation as a tireless fundraiser, as he was knighted by the Queen and the Pope, he was, it now seems, leading an appalling double life, sexually abusing scores of young girls and some boys, some in hospitals, some in care homes, some in the very studios that made him a star.
I just didn't know what to do. Did not know what was happening. I was quite a naive 14-year-old. The worst thing that I will never get out of my head is the taste of his cigar breath.
Jimmy Savile was an iconic figure in British public life and was loved by millions of people. To have found out that he was a paedophile, somebody who was molesting young girls, is absolutely shocking for the British people.
That his offending started in the 1950s, 1958, and went on to 2006. So we're talking about 4, 5, 6 decades of abuse. This is a man who was, I think, for all intents and purposes, in modern day life, an untouchable.
Jimmy Savile died last year, aged 84, his reputation officially intact. But police have now identified more than 200 potential victims, and they're pursuing 400 lines
and things like that. But I did notice that you kissed Sir Jim's ring when he came in. Is this an exception for you?
It was somewhere for the bishop.
Yeah, I mean, we go back a long time. What was it, several weeks ago, wasn't it, when we first met?
Several weeks, yeah. You've been playing your records a long time, though.
Well, we played a couple of them over the years in the 60s.
1,000 times have I played.
Yeah.
Don't Be Cruel, Blue Suede Shoes.
Yes.
All those things of this young man.